Hello, ladies universe, you Master Geeky and Nerdy. Welcome back to a new episode. And I hate this thing. I hate Princess Mononoke. I hate it. You would think that for somebody who would actually appreciate anime, and I do, that you would think that I would have enjoyed this movie. But you'd be wrong. I'm going to tell you how wrong basically that you are. Princess Mononoke is a Studio Ghibli film, and rather than Studio Ghibli is basically PG rated, well basically they do My Neighbor Totoro, Ponyo, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Kiki's Delivery Service, and a bunch more. Then they go and produce something like this. A PG-13 rated movie. That's all about saving the planet. It sucks. Really. Like, the story, the characters, the setup, everything they put together pretty quickly, and it really does suck. Like, don't, don't get me wrong. The animation style and the quality is beautiful, and the voice acting is really superb. But everything else falls very flat and really, really quickly. So they set up, basically, let me see here, the character of Ashitaka. Ashitaka is basically in this sort of farming village sort of thing where they were attacked by a wild rampant boar, but it turned out that the boar was infected by some black mucus or something like that, and then the mucus actually infects Ashitaka. So Ashitaka has to go and try to figure out a way of that he can cure his really weird disease and whatnot. So basically, I have a very good TV too, mind you. And even though, yeah, I'm deaf, I'm hard of hearing, I have been ever since I was 5 to 4 years old. This film was hard to hear. I was sitting really close next to the TV, and I could still barely hear any of the really good voice acting that was really happening inside of it. And it really made me really upset and really paranoid because it's like you can't really hear anything. The movie is set almost in sort of like Avatar, but before Avatar was a thing, like they're right on majestic beast and whatnot. And there's also machinery that does exist in the world as well. So the movie sets up a character who is known as the Child of Wolves, basically, which would be Mononoke, but whose name is actually, oh my god, I don't know. But I think her name was like Sun or something. I don't think that it is actually Mononoke, but they call her Princess Mononoke. She's a child of wolves and whatnot. And, they just establish her and whatnot. But the Lady Eboshi is kind of the main enemy of this entire thing. She runs a town called Iron Town where they're making weapons and whatnot of mass destruction, and they're killing off the animals, which is making all the spirits, all the gods and goddesses of the forest world are very, very angry, so they wage war against Iron Town. But because she has all these weapons and whatnot, and she's destroying the forest, she just really doesn't fucking care and just completely tears everything down. Um, but the reason why I hate it is because they set up this character who is Mononoke, and they don't explain nothing about her. They only say that she's a child born by wolves. How? How is she born by wolves? How did the wolves come across her? How does the wolf goddess essentially really came in contact with her? How is she connected with these wolves? How can she understand them? There are so many questions revolving around her that are just never explained. But she's introduced to Achitaka, who saves her in Iron Town. He manages to serve off some sort of superpower. Think essentially Alan Walker from The Gray Man. Like he just activates his superpower, and here you go. So they all know that he possessed, that basically that he had the dark power that he's not supposed to have, and he saved Mononoke and Iron Town during the whole inhibition thing, and he's later on saved by the wolves as well. He meets the actual princess, the actual goddess wolf herself, who ends up basically saving him, but telling him that he still needs to get the hell out of Dodge and get the hell out of the forest. Keith David, one of my favorite voice actors of all time, the guy who really has a stellar voice in anime and as well as other voice acting, really served a good point here. Probably my most favorite, role with him is probably his performance as Spawn in the animated Tom McFarlane Spawn series. I think it was Keith David that did that role very, very well. But one of my favorite voice actors who voices the Pig God, you can't really hear him in this. And at the moment, the only moment when I heard him is when he was doing that yelling of "Boys in charge" sort of thing. And it's like really, really weird and yet superb. Then they introduced this thing called the Forest God, who is essentially life and death itself. At nighttime, he turns into this dark and really superb killer, and the animation on him is really amazing. His night form was almost like Godzilla, so to speak. It was really, really cool. But then when he turns into the deer form with the human face, it becomes really damn really weird. They don't explain where he comes from. They don't explain his backstory. Well, let me guess. His backstory is that he was Bambi. He was granted with some sort of mystical power, and now he becomes a killing thing at night so he can go after his mother's killers. So basically, Bambi is Batman, but a way more ridiculous version of Batman. No, Ghibli. I gotcha. But the whole entire thing is just like, we must save the planet sort of thing, trying to speak Go Captain Planet references. But the thing is, there's just so many stories behind it. Like, they do explain like what Irontown is, how Irontown was built. And Irontown really does sound like something for Pokemon, which is why I'm wearing this Pokemon shirt, because it really does sound like something that you would hear out of Pokemon. But they set up everything with this character and everything. They set up everything with Ashitaka, like why he's doing this and everything. But they never set up the other characters, the other gods and whatnot. And speaking of, they talk about these gods like they're like, masterpieces and everything. Like it opens up sort of like an old Land Before Time movie, which is great. But then it falls short of what it was trying to do. Like, show off these other gods. Create, like, a giant freaking crow god that's, like, the god of death or something. Create these all other gods, like a snake god and whatnot, that are actually in this, that are all trying to help each other as well. They set up these apes that are supposed to be, like, these really dangerous things and whatnot. Is there no freaking ape god in this whole entire thing? Like, seriously? And again with the character of Mononoke, they set up this really great character. They really do. They set up this really terrific young female who is basically the child of wolves, this dangerous child that they called her. But essentially, they don't set up nothing about her. There is no backstory behind her, which was something I was ashamed at never seeing in this film. Like, I really wanted to see, like, what was her backstory? Like, why was she raised by wolves? Is it something like Mowgli from the Jungle Book? Is it something like Tarzan? Tell me, because I'm interested. Who are these gods? How were they born in this universe? What is the forest god? What kind of purposes does he serve rather than saving the forest? Why at the ending did Mononoke tell Ashitaka just to go to fucking hell? Nothing is explained. Nothing is answered really in this film, which is why it's such a bad fucking Studio Ghibli film. One of my favorite Studio Ghibli films is My Neighbor Totoro. Why? Because it has a good story, good character development, and a grand cast that really introduces themselves in it. You don't really need to really understand everything in the universe because everything will eventually be explained to you, like who Totoro is, who the characters are, what they're doing in this world. Everything is eventually explained all on a grand path. Same with Ponyo, Spirited Away. Everything is eventually answered for you. But when it comes to something like, and even Howl's Moving Castle and Kiki's Delivery Service, just for references, but when it comes to something like Princess Mononoke, and I'm sorry if I'm going to piss off a lot of people by saying this, I just don't like this movie. I understand the purpose that they're trying to do with Save the Forest and whatnot things, but in terms of what it's trying to be, it's trying to be basically a PSA for saving the forest but it's like one of the worst PSAs ever created. And, you know, you basically have all these PSAs that were being created in the 90s to 80s, which I understand, but it's like basically showing somebody the worst PSA that could ever be created. And granted, again, the music in it is flawless. The animation, it's beautiful. The voice actors are stupendous. Listen to this cast of voice actors, mind you. You have Gillian Anderson, Billy Crudup, Claire Davis, Minnie Driver, Jada Pinkett Smith. Yes, Will Smith's wife is in this, and she is a badass. And Billy Bob Thornton, who you might remember from Friday Night Lights and Bad Santa, is in this. But it's just really stupid. This film is stupid. Like, if I had to pick it compared to other movies that Studio Ghibli had done, it wouldn't even make it on my top 10. And I know that Studio Ghibli has a large list of movies that they have done. This wouldn't even reach my top 10. Like, in terms of Studio Ghibli movies, number 1 is My Neighbor Totoro, number 2 is Spirited Away, number 3 is Kiki Delivery Service, number 4 is Ponyo, number 5 is Howl's Moving Castle, and number 6 would be Castle in the Sky. But this one, this piece of crap, would be way below, buried underneath everything else. Like, I'm trying to give it something good to say, but all I can say is the animation is good, and the voice acting is flawless, and the music is really good. But everything else, everything it sets up, everything it's trying to be, is just not there. Like, it's trying to be a good movie. It's trying to be. It's trying to give a good message to younger audiences. And I understand that. But what is the fucking point if you don't have a good character set up? Nothing is very explained in the movie. Like, it's just an old man yelling at the forest, so to speak, from Bennett the Sage's point of view. And that's really, I can agree with. It's just basically, what is his name? Hayao Miyazaki is basically saying, protect the forest, save the forest, type of deal thing. And you know what? If we're talking about honesty of good Save the Earth PSAs, Captain Planet is basically 1,000 times better. Has better characters, has better stories, has better everything. This, while it does have brilliant animation, a flawless stellar voice cast, and beautiful animation and music, yeah. It's, in terms of one of the first movies of Studio Ghibli that a lot of people tell me you need to see it, you guys should have told me to see something better, because clearly, this was not it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm with the universe, your master Geeky and Nerdy, saying, don't watch Princess Mononoke, and I'll see you next time.